Last night I figured out something. I can't take credit for it. I was listening to the Young Turks, I believe they're called, and they were talking about the whole tariff thing and the stock market, and kind of speculating on what was going to happen and why Trump and his team did that, especially when publicly Trump's team some of them are kind of like, why are you doing this? And others are just kind of like, okay, we're just going to step back and see what happens. And anyways, as you well know, according to the current Supreme Court, which is the Supreme Court of Injustice, because 5 of the judges are corrupt, at the very least, if not all of them. But 5 are clearly corrupt in favor of Trump. And some of them during their not acceptance speech, but during the interview phase with Congress, some of them outright lied about their position on the presidency. They lied. I think it was Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, maybe, or maybe it was Alito. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. But at least a couple of them, when questioned about the power of the presidency, stated that no, absolutely, they do not have unfettered power, kind of thing. But SCOTUS ruled last year that the president enjoys broad immunity for acts within the inner and outer sphere of their power, no matter what it is. I would assume that because the Constitution forbids treason, that treason doesn't count. But given the way the SCOTUS has been voting for quite some time now, with Chief Justice Roberts pretending to be a moderate, I would say they would protect him even from the consequences of treason, because in my opinion, he's already committed treason. But that's beside the point. The point here is that according to what they said, according to my thoughts on what they said, Trump had at least 2 reasons for the tariffs. And one was the reason that has been stated publicly, and the other is suggested by some things that he said and done. For example, the reduction of regulation of crypto and of many of the departments in the government, such that he's basically made it easier for scammers to succeed in this country, especially since gutting the CFPB, which has protected consumers during the entire life and returned tens of billions of dollars to consumers in, I think it was 11 years, something like that. Anyways, I haven't looked specifically into whether he's gutted the SEC, but I would imagine that they also have had some changes made as far as what they can prosecute, especially given the fact that they have dropped several lawsuits of late. So, my belief is that the other unstated reason, and this is partially supported by a tweet that Trump made saying, this is a great time to buy. I don't remember if he said buy stock or not, but he said this is a great time to buy. Now, obviously, that's not going to be cars. It's not going to be eggs. It's not going to be a lot of things right now, because prices have gone up because of the tariffs, or are going up today. But if it is stocks that he was referring to, then his real motive was to tank the stock market in order to buy low, and then he can sell high, which is called market manipulation. And as long as I've been alive, market manipulation by a member of the government is illegal. That said, Congress, for many decades now, has engaged in insider trading. So, yeah. That means that even if President Trump has actually manipulated the market, number one, he's immune. And number two, even if he wasn't immune, Congress isn't going to do squat about it. And Congress is the only way that President Trump would get prosecuted would be if it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Yeah, Trump, you overstepped your bounds, and we can see that you made a really sweet deal buying all those stocks after you tanked the market." So congratulations, Trump. You managed to fleece a lot of people, cause a lot of financial loss, so that you could get more money. Hooray! Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.